The mission in this movie is so important because it was about removing Nazi Germany's U-boat dominance in the Atlantic, and by U-boats I mean submarines. And the war would probably have been lost had this mission not been successful. And Gus's line, whether it has still survived or not, I'm not too sure, but him saying we're giving birth to deniable operations is important because of the time. It was something that was unthought of. It's in the title, Ungentlemanly warfare, but they weren't going to win otherwise. And that's one of the special things about people like Winston Churchill, is that he could see the wood through the trees. And it was about, I mean, I'm sure he had many failings as a man, but one thing he did right was win the war. And if he didn't, by doing things like this and forming teams like this, then we'd be living a very different life now.
Costume coat over, guys.
This team of actors.
Look back at him. Yeah, all right, done.
Yeah.
Good idea. Good idea. Is that your idea?
Yeah.
5 points.
I love being on the water, and so the opportunity to actually be at sea again while shooting was extraordinary. I think in this day and age, one would normally expect to be on a green screen stage, and at most on a gimbal, but not even that. Maybe just a bit of camera movement like this. But something about being on the water, something about being off such a beautiful coastline like we have here in Turkey, it really helps sell the world and the feeling, and so you can really get in touch with it. And also it creates a wonderful bond between the cast and the crew and everyone on that particular vessel, because we're not getting to just disappear off to our various corners and our various stations, and we're on the boat all day long, come rain or shine, and it feels like a real camaraderie gets built that way. And this is such a magnificent crew. Everyone is so good at what they do, and they have such a good approach to it. It's the only other movie I've laughed so much on was Man from U.N.C.L.E., and I love being back here. Absolutely love it.
I think it's great fun.
God for that. It's a bit embarrassing otherwise.
Put down the old thingamajig.
I'm an actor, so I'm good at pretending to like people, and Alex over here on my left is slightly more.
It's the best. I wanted to reinvigorate my love for filmmaking. I wanted to get back into a job which was going to be the most enjoyable and really sort of get my creative juices flowing again. And so when I heard that Guy was doing this, it was an immediate draw. For me, my most enjoyable job has probably been The Man from U.N.C.L.E. with Guy, and arguably my best job as well. And so the opportunity to come back on to a project like this, to work with Guy with this sort of subject matter, was a no-brainer for me. And so I jumped in with both feet very eagerly, and very happy to be here.
If we fail, England will be condemned to a lifetime under the German boot.
Alan's wonderful to work with. I've been looking forward to working with him for a while. I saw him in Reacher and thought his work was absolutely fantastic in that. And I was keen to see what kind of actor he is. And he's a very intelligent actor. He's very thoughtful. He's done his homework. He cares. He's subtle. He's nuanced. And that's a pleasure to work with. And he's also very funny. He's a lovely chap, and lovely to be around on set. So yeah, I'm looking forward to working with him again someday.
So I said, that is not a dog, that is my wife!
It's very good. I think Guy Ritchie's brand of creativity will bring something to this that will make it, and I'm not saying that historical documentaries are unwatchable, but they can sometimes come across as information. And I think with today's viewers, things need to be interesting, things need to have a sense of fun, and while it is historical, we're talking about an historical event, an actual mission that happened. We're also playing with the characters a bit to access an audience which is going to enjoy these characters. And so Guy's creativity, Guy's character genius is playing a major part in that.
Gus March Phillips, I have a mission I want you to lead. Thank you, Sergeant.
What's the plan?
To neutralize the German U-boats in the North Atlantic.
For me, the interest in him came from the kind of person it took to be someone like him during that period. In this day and age, it's a bit more usual, but to be one of the first people to start the team, to start the process of deniable operations, took a certain type of person. And that's what's fascinating about him. I have a lot of friends who have served in those sort of units, and I feel a sense of duty to represent them properly. And while this is less of an historical documentary and more of a character piece, I wanted to put that sense of fun into these characters, as well as the danger. They're extraordinary people, but they were also slightly mad.
We're losing the war. Hitler is not playing by the rules, so neither are we.
The wonderful thing about Guy Ritchie is that he's excellent at crafting character, but you can't just be excellent at crafting character. There have to be people who can pull that off, and this team of actors is very good at pulling that off. They bring their own little piece of something to each of these roles, which make them unique and not just a carbon copy of something that Guy's trying to portray. Everyone has their challenges as a character, and everyone fills their role so wonderfully, and it's great to see. I mean, working with Hero in particular has been a real pleasure. I think he's the youngest of us by a fair margin, and there's some real talent there.
We both know that I'm not very popular with the administration.
The reason they find you unattractive is the very reason I find you attractive.
Operation Postmaster was an incredible plan because, as I